Hands in Anjali Mudra. Inhale deeply for Om. Om Bhava Suvaha Tat Savito Varanyam Bhago Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yonat Prachodayata Om Bhava Suvaha Tatsavito Varanyam Bhago Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yonat Prachodayata Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shanti 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 Om Peace Peace Peace. With your hands in Anjali Mudra, bow your head and offer your practice today to a place in nature that is special or sacred to you. Bring that place into your mind's eye and dedicate your practice. Namaste. Welcome everybody. Standing in Tadasana, shoulders back and down. Hips nudge very slightly forward, inseams of the feet parallel, optional toes touching. Head slightly back, chin slightly down, gaze into the heart space, stagger yourselves a little bit on your mat. Come into Ujjayi breathing, little constriction at the base of the throat, even hissing sound to the breath. And just take a few moments to establish that sound. Be aware of the breath beginning in the pranasthana, returning to the pranasthana, the center of your chest. Comfortable with your balance, your eyes are gently closed. You need to, you can have your eyes just half open, gazing towards your heart. Hasta vinyasas. On the inhale, raise the arms overhead, flip your palms, lift up. Begin the exhale, arms on the breath. Gaze in the heart. Inhale, wide overhead. Stretch the lungs a little. Exhale, widen down. Inhale, wide overhead. Exhale, lift the heels. Inhale, lower the heels. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, raise the arms, raise the heels together. Exhale, don't move. Inhale. Exhale, lower the arms, lower the heels together. Good. If you're close to the wall and you want to turn in, you can bring your arms wide. And then inhale, arms widen overhead. Parsvabhangi, side stretch. Exhale, lean to the right, hips to the left. Top shoulder back, right hip slightly forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, change. The hips to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, change. And you're going to hold for a short inhale and a long exhale, a little pause at the end of the breath. The top one back a bit. And then when you're done, come up and do the other side. Keep the gaze straight ahead towards the horizon line. Extending through the bottom arm and breathing strongly into the right lung. When you're done, come to center. We'll meet in Tadasana. Good. Inhale, arms widen overhead. Flip your palms. Oh no, don't do that. Bring your arms down. Exhale. Inhale, raise the arms to shoulder level. This should be interesting. And improvise as you turn to the right, arms at shoulder level out like wings. Turn to the right and look over your right hand. Inhale, come to center. And exhale, change sides. You can bend the elbows, just avoid your neighbor somehow. And then inhale, come to center. And exhale, lower the arms. Yeah, so we did this yesterday, we're going to do it again. I'm going to look at some detail in a few postures today. So, Sophie, can you just do something for me? Just stay where you are. Just come back a little bit towards me. Okay, inhale, raise your arms. And exhale, twist and look over your right shoulder. Okay, and just gently look at the right shoulder. So just go back to the center. I just want to see how that ended up. Exhale, lower your arms. Okay, so when you raise the arms for a standing spinal twist, you stay there. When you raise the arms for a spinal twist, you just raise them straight out to the side, yeah? Like that. And then when you twist, they should stay like that. So what's happening a lot is this, twisting to a certain point, and then this arm is hyperextending. And that is closing the space between the shoulder blades. Whereas the space between the shoulder blades, like when you begin in this position, extending into both arms, that space should be wide. And so you can breathe into the back of your lungs. And then when you twist, you want to go around and keep that alignment through your arms. Really important. You look at the back hand, and then just to check it, if you're not sure, turn your head and look at the front hand. You're sure you're in alignment, and then look at the back hand again until you get the feel for it. And when you're in the twist, what tends to happen is the contact on the inseam of that foot gets lost. But if when you're breathing in the twist, you keep the body to the right, but you nudge that hip slightly forward, it will ground the inside of that foot, it will deepen the twist in the spine, and it will give you more benefit. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, lower. Inhale, raise the arms shoulder level. Exhale, twist to the right. Extend hand to hand, then look at your front arm and check your alignment. Then look at your back hand. Breathe, please. Short inhales, long exhale, and nudge your right hip slightly forward without turning your chest forward, so you can feel the change in your back and the inseam of the right foot grounding more. Then inhale, come to center. Exhale, lower your arms. Inhale, raise your arms. And exhale, twist the left and do the same thing. Put the front hand for a second, check your alignment. And then look at your back hand, short inhales, long exhales. Nudge the left hip slightly forward this time. Ujjayi breathing, please. Ground the inside of your left foot. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, lower the arms. Feel any different? Good. Inhale, raise the arms overhead, flip your palms. Chin down, exhale, fold halfway. Hips back. Inhale, come up, arch back. And exhale, fold halfway. Good. Inhale, bring your arms wide like wings. So you can just extend your arms back. Like yeah, just straight back. And then exhale, arms forward. Flip the palms, push the hips back. Inhale, come up. Little arch back at the top. Strong Ujjayi breath, fold all the way down. Bring the hands to the shins or the floor. Look up, inhale. And exhale, fold. Hold for 3 breaths. Completely relax the neck. Short inhale and a long exhale. And at the end of the exhale, just pause and completely relax. You hold the big toes, put the hands under the feet, or hold your legs, but try to hold on to something. Raising gently at the tip of the nose, and then exhale, interlock your fingers, and inhale, come up and arch back. And exhale, Tadasana. Surya Namaskar, Sun Salutation. Come towards the front of your mat. Inhale. Exhale, Anjali Mudra, hands in prayer. Inhale, arms widen overhead, flip your palms. Lift, lift, lift. Exhale, just move your hips back with your chin down till your hands touch the floor. Bend the knees if you need to. Short inhale. Exhale, Utkatasana, squat down. Short inhale. Hop or step back. Knees down for half chaturanga or full chaturanga, fully exhale. All the way to the floor, full prostration, hands in prayer. Hands back beside the chest, chaturanga, or knees down, half chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, arms are straight, chest is forward, shoulders are down, hips are down. Exhale, back, downward facing dog, and take a breath. Short inhale, long exhale, empty your lungs. Hop or step forward, squat down, Utkatasana. Inhale, straighten the legs. And exhale, round the back fold. Flip the palms, inhale, come up, arch gently back, chin down. Exhale, Tadasana. Same thing. Inhale, exhale, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, arms widen overhead, flip your palms. Exhale, fold. Short inhale, neck relax. Exhale, squat down. Round the back, forehead as close as you can get it to the knees. Short inhale into the back of your heart space. Hold the breath, hop or step, chaturanga. Inhale, full prostration. Pause the breath, offer your prayer. Hands back, chaturanga, dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take 2 breaths this time. Short inhale, long exhale. Empty the lungs. Short inhale, long exhale. Spread the fingers wide, and then hop or step forward and squat down. Inhale, straighten your legs. Exhale, fold. Lift the palms, inhale, come up. And exhale, Anjali Mudra. Keep the Anjali Mudra gaze into the heart with the eyes closed. Take a breath. And then when you're ready, turn to the right, stand in Tadasana. Inhale, raise the arms shoulder level, feet together. Exhale, don't move. Hop or step the feet apart, triangle distance. Don't worry about me. I'll avoid you. I'll find my way around. You just carry on. Inhale there. Bring your legs a bit further apart. Exhale, go to the right. Hips slightly back. Hand towards the leg or the floor. Gaze up or side wall. Inhale, come up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, come up. And now just stay there with the arms out for a moment and think about the alignment that we looked at in the standing spinal twist. That straight line through your arms and the stretch across your shoulders. And when you go into Trikonasana, try to keep that alignment through your arms. Don't hyperextend your top arm back. Exhale, go down to the right. So your top arm doesn't need to be vertical. It needs to be in line with the bottom arm. You can look at the top hand, or you can look at the side wall. 3 breaths, Ujjayi breathing. That's better. It should be a straight line through your arms. So as you stretch into the top hand, it'll pull space between your shoulder blades and allow you to open your chest more. When you're done, inhale, come up. You don't need to go quite as low, Linda. Bring your hand onto your leg. Exhale, go to the left. Same thing. Push your hips back more, Carmela, so it's more of a forward fold. Go down more with the hips further back, Carmela. Yeah. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to the waist. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Keep the feet where they are if you can. Turn the right foot out a little bit if you need to. Inhale, arch back. And exhale, fold over the front leg. Just halfway. Inhale, come up, arch back. Keep facing over the front leg. Exhale, go down halfway. Take a short inhale there. Then exhale, lower back, middle back, upper back, left hand down, right arm up, or right hand small of your back. And still keep that straight line through your shoulders into your top hand. If your top hand's up, 3 breaths. Good. I like it when I see less struggle, more breathing. And then inhale, come up halfway, arms like wings if you've got room. Exhale, just bring the hands to your waist now, otherwise it's going to get messy. And inhale, come up and arch back. Exhale, turn to face front. Take an inhale there. Exhale to the left. Inhale, arch back. Exhale, fold halfway. Firm legs. Inhale, arch back, come up. Exhale, fold halfway. And then when you take the inhale here, not moving, try and firm your legs and lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist. Bring the left hand to the leg or the floor, top arm up, or hand on the small of the back with the palm facing the spine. Even if you've got your hand on the small of the back, try to keep opening up through the chest and stacking the shoulders one above the other. And when the arms are, the chest, the shoulders are one over the other, only then will your top arm be vertical. After your 3 breaths, inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, put the hands on your waist. Inhale, come up, arch back, keep facing over the leg, and exhale, turn to the center. Tadasana. Inhale, arch back, open your chest. Widen your stance a bit here if you want. Exhale, fold halfway. Put the hands on the floor. Inhale, look up. And exhale, fold. You can hold your heels, your big toes, or keep your hands on the floor in line with your shoulders. Breathe there. If your head's on the floor, Sophie, bring your feet closer together. You don't need to worry about pulling yourself down. Just get yourself in a position where you're comfortable and take long exhales. And so the length of the breath releases the body down. Your legs slightly active here. And then inhale, look up, put the hands on the floor. Exhale, put the hands on your waist. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, come up and arch back. You can look up for your balance is good. And exhale, Tadasana. Exhale. Actually, it's exhale, don't move, and then inhale, exhale, Tadasana. So come back into Tadasana. Sorry. Okay. You have, of course, been studying the sheet, so you knew that, yeah? Turn to face front. Okay, we're gonna skip Vrksasana tree pose today and go straight into lead and return sequence. You okay, Catherine? Okay, good. And then inhale, bring the arms wide and overhead. Flip your palms. Exhale, palms face forward. Inhale, arch from the upper back. And exhale, fold. Long, strong Ujjayi. When you go down, I want to hear a bit more Ujjayi, so it makes your descent nice and smooth. Then inhale, short breath. Exhale, Utkatasana. Come to the front of your mat. Short inhale there. And exhale. Oh no. Short inhale there. Hold for a step back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Do you really need me anymore? And then inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. And it's 3 breaths now because it's lead and return. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Ground the index finger bases so you can draw the energy up out of the floor through your arms and shoulders. Draw your lower abdomen in and lift your sit bones so you feel the connection between your index finger base and your sit bones, and your spine is stretching. And if your spine isn't stretching, if there's any rounding in your back, slightly bend your knees. You want to work on the spine. Don't worry about your hamstrings. You can work on them in standing poses. People do worry about their hamstrings. And then bend the knees, hop or step forward, squat down, Utkatasana. Sit down, Dandasana. And then inhale, bring your arms over your head. Niralamba, unsupported Dandasana. And exhale, don't move. Inhale, come down onto your back with your arms over your head. So roll down one vertebrae at spine, use strong legs and core. And exhale. Good, Aoife. Bring the hands back beside your hips. Look into your heart, switch off Ujjayi. Take a smooth inhale. Completely relax your face or your facial muscles. Awareness of breath in the heart, just a couple of breaths. Okay, and then bend your knees and hug your knees. And sit up. I'm going to look in a bit more detail at Tataka Mudra. This is a foundational mudra, which is really, really important to help you learn the bandhas. And then it comes into play in so many other postures. So who would like to volunteer to demonstrate Tataka Mudra for me? Or do you want me to pick someone? I think you did it yesterday. Sophie, do you want to do it? Robert, would you like to do it? Huh? Yeah. Yeah, come on, Robert. Oh, that makes a change. Come on, let's let Robert do it. Okay, so Robert, can we use your mat? Yeah. And then and now everybody get up and come to the front. But if you could just leave the sight line of that camera free, that would be great. So you need to be able to see what we're doing. If you just lay down your back, Robert. Okay, so Tataka Mudra. Mudra's most important elements of the practice. So first of all, you're just going to relax. Put your hands by your sides. Okay. So there's some setup that's really important for Tataka Mudra. And the first is the actual physical position of the body. First thing you do is flex your feet, which means the feet are flexed back towards the head. Okay. And now just point your feet, Robert. So can you see that his pelvis goes into a neutral position there? But when he flexes the feet, there's a slight tuck in the pelvis. Can you see that? Just do that again, Robert. Point, and the pelvis sort of like anterior to it, and then it slightly moves the pubic bone up, yes? Now that comes just from flexion in the feet. Now that flexion in the feet and that action in the pelvis connects you easily to Mula Bandha. So Mula Bandha is the engagement, it's very subtle kind of energetic lift of the perineal muscle in the center of the pelvic floor. That is Mula Bandha. Okay? That is helped by this pelvic tilt, which is why your feet must be flexed. Okay? And then the other thing is, he's going to bring his chin down as much as he can so the chin doesn't stick up. You don't force it, but you don't want your chin up in the air because you want this connection in the throat of the hyoid bone that goes down to the transverse abdominis. And when the chin comes up, you lose that connection. And so okay, just bring your hands over your head now, Robert. So you inhale, interlock your fingers and bring your hands over your head. And the action of stretching and flexing the feet, when he exhales, just do a normal exhale, it's already beginning to have the natural effect of Tataka Mudra, just by breathing, not doing anything else. He's just stretching and flexing his feet and tilting his pelvis. Clear? Okay, so just relax a minute, Robert. So now we're going to do the actual posture where we stretch a little bit as much as we comfortably can. You don't go mad, but you turn the internal gaze down into Nabi, which is the navel center. So sort of in the front of the body behind the navel. You look there, and then at the end of a long exhale, you get rid of every last drop of air. And as you stretch with that emptiness in the lungs, it creates a kind of vacuum that sucks the diaphragm up into the rib cage, puts a little bit of pressure on the heart, and compresses all the internal organs. So okay, Robert, we'll do one now. Just take a normal inhale. And when you're ready, a nice long exhale. And then there's no air in the lungs. He stretches. Can you just pour that glass of water in there, Caroline? And this is the pond. It's a pond mudra. So it creates this pond. Okay, and then just release and inhale. So before you inhale, you release the bandhas, and then you breathe in. Do that one more time, Robert, please. Okay, and then the bandha. So he's not really using abdominal muscles. He's not got really tense abdominal muscles. It's the vacuum that's creating the pond. Yeah? And then release, bandhas, and inhale. Bring the hands to your sides. Okay, can you just stay there for a couple more minutes, Rob? Thank you, that was fantastic. So you can see why it's called pond mudra. Yeah? So the pond goes in the abdomen, but they say there's 3 ponds. I actually like to think of 4 ponds. The first pond is in the belly, the second pond is in both eyes, ponds, and the third pond wants to be in the mouth. In other words, all those places on the face want to be soft. It's easy to do it and bring tension into the face. You have to consciously release the tension in the mouth and the eyes. And the eyes are turned down all the time into Nabi. Yeah? And so what's happening here? On that deep exhalation and holding the breath out, there's a natural mula perineum and Uddiyana bandha. As the breath goes out, the Uddiyana bandha is the lower abdominal muscles being drawn in and back towards the spine. That is Mula Uddiyana bandha. When I'm saying bandhas in a yoga class, they're the first two, they're the things that I'm mainly talking about in the asana practice itself. The other bandha is the chin lock, but I'm not going there so much today. When the abdomen is pulled back like that, and it's really kind of like sinking in, the abdominal muscles are actually relaxed. If you really contract the abdominal muscles and make them hard, it limits the extent of the mudra. So it isn't a strong muscular action, it's an action of a vacuum that makes the diaphragm muscle dome up. And the diaphragm is a muscle. It's like very important for the diaphragm, the functioning of the diaphragm, but it's also compressing all the internal organs. So all the organs in the abdominal region and the reproductive organs are stimulated by this mudra. It's very good and powerful for the health of the internal organs. What it actually does is it kind of squeezes the internal organs. It's like a massage for the internal organs. It squeezes them as the diaphragm goes down and squeezes out blood. And then when you release, the blood rushes back into the organs. So it gives this kind of like cleansing of the organs. Does that make sense? It's very good for the digestive system, obviously, and everything as well. Thank you so much, Robert. That's great.
What question?
Yeah, go. And that's the next thing. So does that, before we go there, does that, everybody clear on what I've said so far? Yeah? So this is in the practice, and this mudra is really, really important. And it's a best practice to do to help you learn how to engage Mula Uddiyana Bandha without being a tight ass, which is like this straining. It's like you learn to do it naturally. Okay?
Intensity versus duration.
Yeah.
Because if I really intensely do it, I can only do it like for a short time, or I can do it in a relaxed speed for a long time. Which one's better?
It shouldn't be forceful. So the way you do it in a way that where you don't feel any strain, and you increase the duration can be 5 to 10 seconds. You can go more, but you don't really need to go more.
Pass out and die.
Yeah, but I mean, as you increase your breath length, you can go more, but 10 seconds is usually enough. And yeah, you're not going crazy. You're not trying, I actually said this yesterday in the class, and afterwards I regretted it. I say, you see people in old books in India and stuff, and they do this, and you can see their spine, like through their belly. But no, you're not trying to do that.
I suppose there's benefit for both, though, isn't there? To increase the intensity would increase your bandhas, and to increase the duration would increase something else, wouldn't it? So
I don't actually agree with that, because I think there is a kind of misconception about bandhas that there's something which you can increase the power of, where the more advanced or developed you get in bandha work, I would say the more subtle it becomes, not the more powerful it becomes. And when you do this same process now transfers to Mahamudra. Where you've got one leg straight and you're holding the foot, you're sitting up, and at the end of the breath, you draw the abdomen and up looking in the navel. That's also the same thing, one leg at a time, sitting up, Mahamudra. And then the next place that becomes even more important is an inversion. So when you're doing shoulder stand, you're also trying to find this pattern of breathing, not to the same extreme, but long exhales, pauses in which the bandhas are held. And then inhale, exhale, bandhas are held. And the same in headstand, which is one of the reasons those two postures become the king and queen of asanas, because you're doing this bandha work and long breaths with the body upside down. It has a more powerful effect on the return of venous blood to the heart for the health, and also the prana in the body, the psychic energy. So that's the other thing I didn't mention. When he's doing that, and he does the long exhales and holds the breath out, it's not just the physical benefits, but it's just actually, it's like sucking prana up from the root chakra of the earth through the other chakras into the consciousness chakra of the third eye. So it's like very powerful, energetic pranic posture.
Talk about intensity. Do you mean in the chest? Because sometimes I find it.
I really force it sometimes to the
It
point,
feels quite.
like when you do Kapalabhati really high and you feel it like tuck right deep
Okay.
in.
That deep there, because I feel it sometimes more like right up in the chest, like it's like squeezing.
Greg May used to say about it, cuddling your heart, and then
Yeah.
especially Kapalabhati.
You can feel the pressure. When you feel that, it's the diaphragm pushing on the bottom of your heart sac. And that's all right. Yeah, I mean, it's like actually, it's, you know, you're trying to squeeze your organs, you're trying to stimulate the organs. So, that, you know, that's okay. It's actually the diaphragm. The diaphragm can do that, but we don't normally do it in everyday life. But it just proves that it's capable of doing that. It can push up so much that it squeezes your heart. That's fine. Any other questions? Shall we do it? Okay. Thank you, Robert. Okay, come onto your back. And your feet are together, your arms are close to your body. Flex both feet. You need to have your arms extended over your top of your body. It's okay for you to do it with the hands beside the hips if you want. It's fine to do it like that. Just keep your palms down, your hands close to your body so you feel your center line. Okay, chin slightly down, arms over the head, feet flex back towards the head. Can you interlock your fingers, Carmela? Do that if you can. It gives you a little bit more stretch in the abdomen. Okay, normal inhale there. Turn the gaze down, look into the navel. And then a very long exhale. Keep going till your lungs are completely empty. Puff out a little more air. And then perineum lifts, lower abdomen goes in and up. Feet flex back, draw your lower back to the floor. So the pelvis tilts slightly. Perineum lifts, lower abdomen hollow. Relax the eyes and the mouth. When you're ready, inhale, bring the hands up over your face. Change the interlock of your fingers. And then bring the hands down again. Very long exhale, empty your lungs. When you get to the end of the breath, same thing. Relax the face, flex the feet, look navel, abdomen in and up. Perineum lifts. Eyes closed, look navel. Do one more. Bring the hands up over your face. Change the lock of your fingers. And this time, try and get a little more air out of your lungs and try and draw your lower back down a little more. See if you can let the muscles in the abdomen relax as you draw the lower back down more, Sophie. And deepen Uddiyana Bandha. That's lovely. When you're done, bring the hands up towards the ceiling and exhale, lower the hands towards the floor. Okay, so in the beginning, you just want to be doing a few seconds. Don't strain. But as you get used to it, you can go up from 5 to 10 seconds. Hands close to the body, take a couple of breaths. Does anybody have any questions?
Keep the tension out. I find it easy. I put my tongue sort of back in my mouth.
Yeah.
Is that okay to do? I find that it's a lot more relaxed.
Yeah. Okay. No, big subject. Okay, everybody sit up. Now you've said it, we need to explain what I want people to understand. Okay. So in a mudras and in pranayama, what Louise is talking about is a version of Kachari mudra, which is called Jiva Bandha. Now, Jiva Bandha means that what you do is you take the tongue and you stick it out and then you turn it up into the roof of the mouth and you slide it back towards the soft palate. And it's like when the chin's down in pranayama, it's quite easy to do that. And that is a technique which is used to move prana towards the third eye. And it also can help it like she's finding it useful to help keep her jaw relaxed and her mouth relaxed. Doesn't keep your mouth relaxed, but it keeps your jaw relaxed. Yeah. So it's a technique you can use in mudras. You can use it in Maha Mudra, where we've got one leg straight and the knee in. You can use it in Jiva Bandha. You can use it in Paschimottanasana. You can use it in the inversion, shoulder stand, and headstand. If you know what I'm talking about, you can use it if you want. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it.
Change the gaze of that.
Sorry?
Would you change the gaze of that?
Right, okay. How long have we got? Yeah, okay. So yeah, okay, so what is the full, yeah, so in Maha Mudra, if you're doing that, you switch the gaze to the third eye. Yeah, because the rolling of the tongue is helps to draw the prana up to here. And okay, so when you do full Maha Mudra, at the moment I'm teaching you a basic Maha Mudra practice so you can learn the technique, the physical technique. Eventually, when you do Maha Mudra, you fully exhale and turn the gaze down and look at your big toes. And then as you inhale in Maha Mudra, you look big toes, ankles, knees, tops of thighs, perineum, navel. Sorry, not navel. You look perineum, heart, throat pit, soft palate, nose tip, third eye, and then you look to the crown of your head. So your eyes are turned up and you're looking here. And then you drop the gaze down into the navel and do a very long exhale. And when you get to the end of the exhale, you do the Maha Mudra. And so you're consciously moving the prana up and then dropping it back down to the solar plexus on the exhale. And what that does is it stimulates the prana, which we're talking about now, and it can move it up to the third eye. But you do that, you can also keep there's several different final gaze points in these mudras. You can use the navel, sometimes you can use the perineum, and you can also use the Ajna chakra. Yeah, this is getting a little bit more complicated than esoteric than most people need to know in this class at the moment. But okay, since the question's there, it's probably interesting to know that there's something to work towards, yeah? This is a more evolved practice, but all these things kind of have an endpoint. They have a place that you're working towards. And that technique is not that difficult to learn, but you do need quite a long breath. If you're still working on developing the length of your breath, you'll struggle with that. And you also need to know exactly where all the mama points in the body to be able to drop the gaze there, like you do in the pranayama. So when we do the pranayama and we look third eye, we look nose tip, third eye, soft palate, navel, perineum, that's also like partly a training for what you're going to do in the full mudras. So you also use those gaze points from the navel to the third eye when you do Maha Mudra. So it gets more and more complex. It's like more complex. Right, okay, let's now move on. Otherwise, I think this could take the rest of the night. So today I wanted to do this. I wanted to just show you, make sure you really understand some of these more slightly complicated practices. So put your hands on the floor and step back to downward facing dog. And we're also going to have a look at headstand at the end of the practice. Inhale, come forward into plank pose. And exhale, lower to chaturanga or knees down, half chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Ujjayi breathing, please. Inhale there. Take a long exhale. And hop or step forward, squat down, Utkatasana. Sit down, Dandasana. And move into the seated sequence. Inhale, arms over the head. And exhale, hands beside the hips, Dandasana. Inhale, bend the right knee to the chest. Exhale, knee out, foot to the inner thigh or half lotus. If you're in half lotus, bring the knees as close together as you can. And then inhale, raise the arms overhead. And exhale, fold over the straight leg. Ujjayi breathing. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. 3 breaths. Short inhales, count Om numbers if you want. Long exhales. If you want to, you can sweep the right hand round behind you if you've got the lotus foot and take the foot in the left hand. To the right hand. After your 3 breaths, flick the palms and inhale, come up. Twist to the right, exhale, fold inside the leg. Good, inhale, come up. Turn to the front, lift a little more. Exhale, twist and fold. Take the posture. Hand to the floor, elbow to the floor, shoulder to the floor, top arm up and over. And breathe there. Bring your hand on there. And just work at keeping this open, breathing, yeah? You bring this top arm over. And extend. And inhale, come up, turn to face the front. Exhale, hands behind you 10 inches. If you're in half lotus, you can stay there or bring the sole of the right foot to the floor. And then inhale, come up. And exhale slowly down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, don't move. Drop the right knee down if you can. And then inhale, nudge the hips just a little bit. And exhale, slowly come down. Pick the right foot up and put it on the outside of the left knee now. Inhale, float the arms. Exhale, twist to the right. Take your variation, 3 breaths, short inhale. Long exhales, eyes closed, look nose tip. Take any variation here that works for you. Hug that knee so it's easy for you to stay upright. Keep the exhales long. Look gently over. Look at the tip of your nose. After your 3 breaths, float the arms overhead. Exhale, Dandasana. Both legs straight, hands beside the hips. Inhale, bend the left knee to the chest. Exhale, knee out, foot to the inner thigh or half lotus. Inhale, float the arms. Do 1 vinyasa, second time hold. If you're newer to the class, I recommend you count the Om numbers. Get the pattern of breathing in forward bend. So you could inhale 3, exhale 6, 2, 4, 5, 10. Eyes are closed, you're looking nabby, navel. Ujjayi breathing. If you can't hold your foot, it's a good idea to bend your knee and pivot more from your hips. After your 3 breaths, in your own time, come up and do the side variation. Do 1 vinyasa, and the second time hold for 3 breaths. When you go down, keep the top shoulder open. So you stretch the left lung. And take the same pattern of breath in the revolved variation. 3 breaths. Sorry. Moving the elbow in. That one opens. And then inhale, come up when you're ready, and exhale, hands behind you. Do the Pratakriya, the counter pose. One vinyasa. Second time hold. You okay like this? Inhale, come up. Exhale slowly down. And then inhale, come up. Hold, exhale. Inhale, nudge the hips a bit. Exhale slowly down. Put the foot on the outside of the right leg. Inhale, float the arms. Twist and hold, 3 breaths, eyes closed. If you can make that little pause at the end of the exhale, like you did when you did Maha Mudra, Tataka Mudra, and just slightly narrow the waist there, you'll find that you'll naturally deepen your twist. Keep your head in line with your spine, not drop forward or back, so that you can twist right into the base of your skull. And keep your eyes closed. And there's 3 breaths, they should take a while. They're nice and slow. And then inhale, come to center, arms over your head. Exhale, Dandasana. And then inhale there, and exhale, look heart, take a couple of breaths. And straight to Paschimottanasana. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, fold over the legs. Take the big toes, bend knees if you need to. Inhale, come up. Lift, 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 lift. Exhale, go down, bring the hands over the tops of the feet. Inhale, come up. Exhale, go down, bring the hands outside the feet. Inhale, come up. And then choose one of those variations. Exhale, go down, hold for 6 breaths. Big short inhale. Look navel, round the back, relax the neck. Long exhale. Breathe together. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5, on 6. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5, on 6. Little pause. Inhale, you count. Choose your ratio. Go at 4, do 2 more breaths like that. The end of the last breath, completely empty your lungs and just fold and relax your arms for a moment. Relax your neck, relax your spine. And then when you're ready, flip your palms Inhale, come up. Take your time, your breath. Exhale, hands behind you. 10 inches, legs straight or knees bent for tabletop. Inhale, float up. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Head goes back last. Nice. And exhale, come down. Second, inhale, come up. Keep your feet and knees together, Martha. And exhale, don't move. Inhale, nudge the hips a little higher, squeeze the shoulder blades. And exhale slowly down. And then come into a kneeling position. So you can just do that. Did we go through that counter pose? You just keep your hands on the floor. You just open your chest and drop your head back. You don't have to lift up. Did we do that last week? I can't remember.
I didn't do it.
No, but did I show you that? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, so headstand. So how many people here have a confident headstand practice? What do you do all day? Huh? Not yoga, no? Yeah. Yeah, true. Okay, yeah. So you spend all day standing on your feet. Wouldn't it be nice to stand on your head for a while? Yeah, just for a change. Imagine it. Remember when you were 6, 7, 8? Good fun. Okay, so seriously, headstand. So few people here have a regular headstand practice. This is also beneficial for you. And so what we're going to do is we're going to give everybody a variation by going through the preparatory structure for a headstand so that everybody will have something they can do. Headstand and putting weight, any weight, and being completely upside down is just not appropriate for some people, but there will be a variation in this for you. So we'll just start with dolphin. We'll do a couple of rounds of that so you know what it is, and then we'll move on to half headstand. So dolphin is not a yoga posture. It's not really, it's kind of like a yoga, it's like the yogic push-up. It's like a yogi strengthening posture, which strengthens the shoulder girdle and the arms and etc. and all the muscles that you need to do a headstand without putting the weight in your head. There's my man. I asked her to film me. So we need a volunteer. Actually, we'll have a volunteer in a minute. Let's just do a dolphin. I think I can talk everybody through that. So come into a kneeling position. Now, Em, you might want to just watch this. It might not be something for you. I might have to give you an alternative in a minute. So just watch and see. So measure your elbows with the, so when somebody says in a yoga class, measure your elbows for a headstand, what it means is this second set of knuckles, okay? It's not the whole hand. It's not just like this. It's a second set of knuckles of your fingers around the outside of your arms like that, okay? And then bring the elbows to the floor and they should be under your shoulders. Open your hands and interlock your fingers. Make sure your palms and your wrists are vertical. Turn your toes under, keep your head up, and straighten your legs. Okay, lift your head up, Catherine. So you're looking forward a bit, yeah. Look slightly forward, and then breathe. Exhale, move forward. Inhale, move back. Got a weight in the shoulders. Exhale, move forward. Inhale, move back. Exhale, move forward. Inhale, move back. Bring the knees down. Okay? So the first problem is that you're not using your legs enough. So you have to have your legs really charged and engaged, and you have to have almost like that Tataka Mudra type thing. You've got to have your lower abdomen sucked in and up, and your pelvis tilted slightly, and your perineum lifting. So like this whole core hip area is stable. If you've got soft legs and no core, all the weight will be in your shoulders, and it will be just torture. Yes? So we're going to do it again. And this time, before, like in down dog, charge your legs, charge your core before you move. Come into the down, measure your elbows. Open the hands, interlock the fingers. Turn the toes under. Hips up. Look slightly forward. Charge the legs and core. Exhale, move forward. Inhale, move back. Do it faster with the breath. Exhale forward, inhale back. Exhale forward, inhale back. Exhale forward, do 2 more. Good. Bring your feet close to your head, Jose. Feet closer to your head. And then do 2 more for someone you love. And then just do 2 more for the place you offered your practice to, without letting your elbows go out, Sophie and Anastasia. Keep your elbows in. And then do 2 more for world peace. And then do, now come down. Sorry. Just come down. Okay, so I'm messing with you. So did you notice that as you did it, your elbows wanted to go out? So part of the thing that builds strength, I had a message today saying, when I do dolphin, my elbows gradually keep sliding out. The effort of keeping the elbows in is what makes you strong. Because sometimes you see it done where people will just strap their arms. And that's okay to a point, but it's going to at some point stop you building the strength where you need it for your headstand. So if you can do less and just stop, move the elbows in until you get the stability in your arms and shoulder girdle to keep the elbows in, it's better like that. Okay? Now this is a practice that helps prepare you for shoulder stand so you can keep weight out of your neck. The practice is you start off with doing 3 rounds of as many as you can comfortably do without strain. But you always add on 1 for someone you love. It's the important one. Yeah? And you do, maybe you do 3 rounds of 5, and you build up to 3 rounds of 15. When you can do 3 rounds of 15, you can start doing half headstand. So now we're going to do half headstand. Okay? So I need someone to just, you don't have to do, all you got to do is put your hands on the floor. Somebody want to do it? Marta, you can help me. Yep, turn and face the other way, yeah? Okay, you're not going to come up into a headstand or anything. It's just to show the arm position. Is that okay? Okay, so he measures the elbows, open the hands, and interlock the fingers. Now, you've got to come to the front. You won't see it from the back. This is where it starts to get subtle. Okay. So the first thing is the position. The elbows are good. She's measured them. They're under her shoulders, yeah? So the moment the elbows go out, what it does is an inefficient transference of weight of the body from the floor through the shoulders and into the body. And so what you'll end up with is you'll have to use a lot more muscular strength if the elbows go out. And it'll also shorten the distance, the height of the upper arm, which puts more pressure in the neck, which is why it's so important to always keep this elbow under the shoulder. Does that make sense? So what you do then is you look at your hands and wrists. So she's got her hands and wrists are looking pretty good. So the idea is that this is vertical, and this is wrong. You see that a lot. Put your head in your hands. When people come up, they push their head over into the hands and the hands collapse. That's incorrect. I don't care what anybody tells you. I know some people teach it like that, but I'm not going there. So what happens is when the hands collapse like that, you can't apply pressure into the back of the wrist joint and the bulb of the hand. And they are the 2 places that move and flex into the floor when you're in a headstand to refine your balance. And so that has to be like that. When you lift the thumb up, you see this little dimple here on our hand? That's called the anatomical snuff box. That's where people used to take their snuff from, and they say that should hold water. So if it falls over and the water would run out, it's incorrect. That has to be vertical because that and the little bit here on the back of your hand, they've now become your toes. This is now your heel. And if you collapse the hands, it's like trying to balance with no toes. Are you with me so far? Okay, this is important stuff. And so the upper finger webs are tightly pressed together, but the upper finger webs are very slightly apart. And that helps to keep the hands into a vertical position. If you fully interlock all the finger webs, there's more tendency for the hands to collapse. Okay? With me? Now, the other thing is just pick up your hands. If you look at, can I just have your hand a minute? If you look at Marta's hand, can you see that it's not the only reason I chose you? But can you see it's quite flat there from her wrist to her little finger? You see the difference between her hand and my hand? I've got a much bigger bulb to my hand here. She's got quite a flat piece on the side of her hand. Okay? So when I do a headstand, I'm quite comfortable with my lower fingers crossed. But Marta needs to wrap one finger inside the other. Otherwise, when she puts pressure down into her hands, what it'll do is it will transfer pressure through the joints and she'll get pain in the joints of her fingers. Yes? That's something you can experiment with. Now, the hands need to be the shape of the back of the head. Not flat, like this, and not like that. That's for a different purpose you do that. The hands for most people, shape of the back of the head. The thumbs lift up vertically and they touch. So now there's this space. And when she brings her head down, she's just going to touch the back of her head here. And then when she releases the thumbs, her head will be actually touching here, but it won't be pushing into her hands and pushing her hands over. There's a little tiny gap. And that's a crucial gap. Okay. And what bit of the head does she bring to the floor? So if we go between Martha's hairline and the highest point of her head, the crown, halfway between those two, there's a little bump. I can feel a little bump on her head there. That's called the bregma. That's where you have a seam running across your skull. And a lot of people have a little bump there. See if you can find yours. If you can find it, that's the bit of your head you bring to the floor. But if you can't find it, you just find the high point and find the hairline and go halfway between the two. Crown headstand is a different posture. Bring the bregma to the floor with the thumbs vertical and the hands the shape of the back of your head. And you just touch the back of the head onto those vertical thumbs. Then you release the thumbs and relax them towards the hand. Now she has a little bit of space between the back of her head and her hands. Can you see that? And so now when she turns her toes under and walks in, even though that pushes her head slightly this way, she hasn't pushed her hands over or her wrists, has she? So now she's ready. She's got the position now to do a headstand. But see the shoulders, lift the shoulders. You see? Now drop the shoulders. When the shoulders collapse down and the back rounds too much, it puts all the weight in her neck. When she pushes down here, and pushes into the forearms and lifts the shoulders up in this position, it's now taking the weight out of her neck. Give me that piece of paper. And what you want to be doing in a half headstand is I should be able to slide that bit of paper under her head. Push down, lift your head up a touch. There you go. So now that means that she's got very little weight in her head. And if you can hold that for 25 breaths, you're ready for the headstand. Just another 20 breaths, Martin. Come down. Thank you. Have a rest. Okay, does that make sense? So there's a lot of information there, but when you actually do it correctly, you'll find it will make a huge difference to your ability to balance, and it will make a huge difference to the longevity of your neck if you do headstand regularly, which you should, if you're capable, be doing. Because the vertebrae in your neck are tiny and they're not designed to take the weight of your body. So a lot of people can get into a headstand and get up there and balance, but is that a good long-term proposition for your neck? Probably not if you're not doing the posture correctly. So the half headstand and being able to do that for 20 to 25 breaths will mean that you have the strength in your shoulders and your arms to be able to keep your weight out of your neck when you do a full inversion. Are you with me? Okay, let's do half headstand. So if this isn't for you, I can show you something else at the end, but I can't get into it now. That's okay? You all right just to watch for a minute? Okay, measure your elbows the right way. Open your hands, interlock your fingers. Hands round like the shape of the back of your head. Check the anatomical snuff box. Will it hold water? Push the upper finger webs tight together, lower finger webs slightly apart. And then bring your head off the floor and touch the thumbs together so the thumbs are vertical. Vertical thumbs. Some of you have got the thumbs pointing towards the altar. Vertical thumbs. Look at them, please. Vertical thumbs that are touching. And then bring the head to the floor between the forehead and the crown and just touch the back of the head lightly on those vertical thumbs and release your thumbs. Okay, now turn your toes under, pick your knees up and walk your feet a bit towards your face and lift your shoulders away from the floor by pushing into your forearms and the backs of your hands. Okay, and now if you can, in that position, just lift your shoulders away from the floor and hold your head very slightly off the floor, because I'm going to come round, I'm going to put a little bit of paper under your head. Come on, Alice. Yes. This could take quite a while. Okay. So you're going to hold there for as many breaths as you comfortably can, and then you're going to come down. You're too much towards your forehead. You want to be more towards your crown. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm having a really good time today. It's good. Come on, Aoife. You got it. Hang on, hang on. Some people are still on the first attempt. Linda, head's too much in your hands, Linda. Okay, come down. Okay, so the head under the paper thing is a little bit of a metaphor. There will be a little bit of weight in your head, but I'm trying to give you the idea that the lightness is what's important, and it comes from the arms and the shoulders and the way you're setting up the body. Does this make sense to you? That's what you should be working on. You shouldn't be doing the headstand with weight or with much weight at all in your head. 10–20% of the body weight eventually. I mean, in some schools, they just do the headstand all the time. The head doesn't touch the floor. The proper name for a headstand is Salamba Sirshasan. Salamba means supported. When it's translated into English, people just say Sirshasan headstand. It's not a headstand. Salamba means supported, which means that the body is supported by the arms. And the head is not standing on your head, standing on your arms with your head just touching the floor. To do that correctly is a journey. So you're now on the journey. Does that make sense? Okay. So what if none of that's for you? So exclusive, as far as I'm aware, to Krishnamacharya tradition is another posture you can do instead of headstand. And that is Utthita Padangusthasana. So this is a standing forward bend that mimics some of the benefits of a headstand. And it's really simple. All you basically do, and I'll tell you why it works in a minute. You have your feet a little bit apart for this, and you do the usual vinyasa. Exhale, fold down, take big toes. Now, the way you take big toes is important. If you can, you get the toes up to the joint in the fingers, and then you bring the fingers around the toes and grip, and then you push the toes into the fingers so the fingers are grounded, and that activates your legs a bit. Even if the knees are bent, it still activates your legs when you push your toes down. And then the thumbs, they just rest gently on the pressure point on the tops of your toes, which connects to a nadi that flows through your legs and up through your perineum and into your heart and into your third eye. So there's a connectivity there chronically. And what you do then is it's just like in Maha Mudra. You're not trying to fold down, you're trying to lift up. You lift up, keeping the legs as straight as you just can, and your arms are straight, and your spine is straight, and your sit bones lift. And you just bring your head very slightly up. Close your eyes, and you look, third eye, here. You exhale, Ujjayi breathing, and then you inhale. And when you exhale, you go to the end of the breath. You lift the perineum, draw the lower abdomen in and up, sound familiar? And hold. And while you're doing that, your gaze is here. And then you you inhale, keeping the gaze in the third eye. Exhale long. Hold the breath out. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. And I can actually feel, not so much heat, but I can feel movement of energy in my spine. It really works. And it's because you've got your gaze lifted and your eyes rolled up to here. Where you rest your gaze, it will move the prana there naturally. And when you do the Mula Uddiyana Bandha in that position, it just makes energy go up through your spine when you get used to it. And that's exactly what's happening in a headstand. So in a headstand, you're working on even though you might not even know it at the beginning, especially when you're doing the longer breaths and holding the breath at the end of the exhale and doing the bandhas, it's moving the energy in your spine towards your third eye, but you're inverted, so it's more powerful in shoulder stand and headstand. Are you with me? And this is also an inversion. An inversion is defined by the head being lower than the heart. Yeah, you keep the back flat. No, you keep the head in line with the spine, or it helps sometimes to engage here to have the chin very slightly up. And yes, Louise, you can do it with Jiva Bandha if you want to. Okay, so that is a posture that has a lot of the same energetic effect as a headstand, but without any of the repercussions if you're not a suitable candidate for headstand, and many people aren't. But what I would say about headstand, if you are strong and capable of doing a headstand, then it's no problem. You should be working towards that in your practice. Any questions? Does everybody have something to do? Dolphin for building strength, 3 rounds of 15, working up to. Half headstand, 20 to 25 breaths, working up to. When you do half headstand, come to me and I'll teach you to do a full headstand safely. Okay? Those of you who have a full headstand practice and know what you're doing in the class, continue to do headstand because we'll be giving that option more now. And but it still doesn't hurt to go back, and I still go back sometimes and work on these foundational practices, especially when I feel I'm getting a little bit of, weight in the neck or a bit of soreness from doing long headstands and stuff. Because as you get older, you get weaker. I can guarantee it. Okay, so that is what I wanted to do. We've finished. It's completely different kind of setup today, but those things are worth you knowing. And now when we get to that on your sheet, you'll see there's a headstand practice there as an option to the shoulder stand. And as you switch between the forward bending and the back bend sequence in your home practice, you can also switch one day to the other between shoulder stand and headstand, unless you've got time to do both. So one of those inversions. Yes? Any questions? Good. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. Bow your head. Actually, we've got 5 minutes. We'll just close with a bit of chanting. Just repeat back to me. We'll start with Om. Inhale. Om. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Om Dum Durgaye 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 Namaha. Om Aim Saraswati 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 Namaha. Om Hirim Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Hirim Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Him 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 Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Shri Hanumate 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 Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Together. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Peace, peace. Sadhguru Bhagavan Ki Jai. Remind yourself the intention you made for your practice. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namaste. Everyone okay? Good. So try and practice those things this week. See how you get on. Come back to me with any questions.